I like listening to you talk.
I don't like.
I'd rather you do all the talking.
I don't like listening to me talk. That's the problem. But I'm like a freight train. Once I get moving, it's hard to stop me.
I always told you if you got paid to talk, you'd be a millionaire.
Still waiting.
We're still waiting for that.
You know, to where we can.
Maybe nobody's crazy enough as us.
For sure. There's I have maintained since the very beginning that you got to be about 3/4 stupid or crazy to do what we're doing.
Hey, we're not stupid.
To start from scratch like this is just nuts.
Way more crazy than stupid.
Keep talking. I talk too much.
You're good at talking. I can clean. You talk.
What's up, buddy?
I'm making a hand.
Come. You want to come sit down while we're making a video, or you want to go play?
Come say hi.
Hi.
You want to sit down, or me and Mom are making a video?
Hi. Hi.
Back off, Jackson.
Hi. My name's Reed.
Started this fire. Caught this tree on fire. Caught this pile of brush on fire. Nearly caught this tree on fire. Right next to this. I can't believe you let this place get like this. What kind of a person lives this way?
What kind of wife lets her husband get away with this?
Hey, there's a few more things we can check off that whiteboard.
What, take Cedar out on a date?
We're going to do that tonight. Rough in plumbing,
You're not checking
rebar,
it until it's done.
remove windows, cut in doors. Grab a marker and let's cross those off. Remove windows, cut in doors. Concrete gets poured on Tuesday. There was something else I saw the other day. Okay,
Gravel?
yeah, is that, excuse me, is that down low? Grade front yard is done. Plant grass seed is done. Gravel's done for this year.
Gravel? Here?
Propane, fine propane tank is done.
Where's that?
Third one down, fourth one down, whatever it is.
Plant grass seed?
I did it. It's done.
Is that
Very bottom. We're making progress. So the big one needs to get crossed off is this one right here.
this one?
Take Cedar on a date.
I'm not crossing it off till it's done.
All right. Only for a couple more days. You give up?
No, I actually went up to the top. You went up to the top.
You're going down the built-in slide? You're having a mud fight. That's.
Ready?
Hey, we don't throw stuff at each
Don't
other.
throw it so hard.
No, we're not even gonna do that. That's not even funny. You can make mud pies.
Yeah.
Son?
Let's make it a pool. Right, Kelly? Make it a pool. I have a lot of mud, so I need to take it home.
So this morning I met the plumbing inspector up here for the addition, and he wanted me to change one minor thing, and it really wasn't that big of an issue, and I frankly knew better, but I still, the 2-inch riser that I put on there, he wanted it to be 3-inch, so
Are you losing your touch?
yeah, a little bit for sure. But I guess this is the first time the plumbing inspector has been out here since over a year ago, at least a year ago. And what I found out is he had actually called the other county inspector wondering what was going on with us. He last time I had him up here, he wanted me to make a few changes, and he never heard from me again, and he was worried that I went ahead and drywalled and finished. And so the bottom line is we're trying to do everything we can to code, and I think he sees that. And so we walked through the house. I didn't have him. I almost did the what's called the rough inspection, but I didn't have him do that on the house. But I did walk him around and show him what I've done, and he again wants me to change a couple minor things, but nothing too major. But the point I'm trying to make is whenever I have these major inspections, I also had to have the county inspector come out and look at the rebar. And I'm good enough friends with him because I actually see him around town that I wasn't worried about that. But having the plumbing inspector back out here, I didn't sleep at all last night. I got up at 6:30 this morning and just came up here. And so I'm super happy to have that off my chest, I guess. I'm super happy that he was fairly positive. He was fairly optimistic. Fairly quickly, I'll go ahead and put the rest of the house under test and get that inspected by him after I make those changes. But the bummer is I can't get concrete until Tuesday morning. Don't be getting, why you gotta go in the mud, son? I'm gonna spray you with a hose now that we got water.
Concrete.
Anyhow, we're ready for concrete. Everything's done. I put the Ufer ground in, which is another big thing that I almost forgot to do. And this will be the whole ground for the house. The Ufer ground I thought had to be done in copper, number 4 copper, with at least 2 clamps. And in our county, all I had to do was bend up a 20-foot piece of rebar and put it up through the slab. And so that's done as well. So we're ready for concrete. So I've got Tuesday morning, I've got Terrell coming over and his oldest son Cole, myself, and my buddy Rod's going to come up and help pour as well. Rod's been the go-to with our concrete, and he's good enough to help us with that. But anyhow, we had Cedar and the kids came up this afternoon, and the plan was to cut firewood. But I'm so tired, I just been sitting around watching Cedar clean, and Cedar doesn't sit still so good, so you just went to cleaning. But we had an opportunity to kind of walk around and talk about the future and talk about, I don't know.
The plans before the snow hits.
Plans before the snow hits.
Next steps.
You want me to get all the tools out of the front room, so if we want to come up and spend the weekend as a family up here, there's no issues with that. So once the utility room, once that's all framed up, I'm going to move all my tools out of the front room. We're
going to have to build some shelves, or get some shelves, some type of shelves, so we can keep everything organized. That's the part I like.
So one of the bedrooms we'll make into my tool room for now. And then
just don't overtake my pantry.
The pantry's all yours. Biggest pantry you've ever had.
Load it with tools. Each step seems surreal. It seems like, wow, this is really happening. We've been talking about it and working on this for so long. What, 2 years now?
Over 2 years.
Over 2 years. It just feels like every time I drive up, it's just like, wow, we're one step closer.
It seems like the things we get accomplished are collectively little things that turn into big things, and sometimes we don't realize how far we've come until we actually slow down and look back on it a little bit. And it was fun, you know, earlier we took a minute, and as the kids were playing, we just walked around the property and envisioned what the future looks like here, and talked about transplanting a bunch of maple trees over the drive, so maybe 10 or 15 years down the road we have this beautiful tunnel of maples that maybe our kids and our grandkids get to enjoy. And so I guess that's the point in this whole thing, is because we're doing everything ourselves, because we're doing this out of pocket, and we don't have an expendable amount of money to do this with, we do what we can do as we do it. And we're finally reaching that point where we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. We're finally having conversations about living, really living. And now in the back of our head, I think we want to pretend that this is just, you know, for the longest time we've pretended that we're just moments away from doing this, but we knew that we had so much to get accomplished. But now that we've actually got these things accomplished, getting the gravel down.
Gravel's huge.
Yeah, I mean,
and the water. I mean, just having the kids up here, they get muddy and dirty, and it's nice to have water. I'm going to spray off my front porch today. It's going to be nice and clean.
All that pressure is crazy. Dad, what?
Don't get it in the grass. No, Callie.
Sorry.
Yeah, the full-time aspect of living up here is I think is just, it's the next big step. You know, we're crossing things off the list at a pretty fast pace right now, it seems like. A couple more little hurdles to jump. Again, the concrete, we'll pour the concrete on Tuesday. Weather still looks good, and I can frame that up, and then I feel like things should go really fast after that.
And the inside stuff is more stuff I can help you with. Some of this tractor business I don't know much about.
Sure. And then once the weather wants to get bad, it doesn't matter. We got heat, we got water, we got, all of these things. So anyhow, I told myself and Terrell, we're talking the other day, and he's the only person in my life that can tangibly, other than, I guess outside of me and Cedar, he's the only person that can honestly relate to what we're doing. There's nobody else around here doing this. There's nobody else around here that is currently living off-grid that we know of. So there's really nobody else that we can go to and ask questions. There's other people, of course there's other people around, but I don't have relationships with these people, to where we can.
Maybe nobody's crazy enough as us.
For sure, I have maintained since the very beginning that you got to be about 3/4 stupid or crazy to do what we're doing.
Hey, we're not stupid.
To start from scratch like this is just
it's
nuts.
Way more crazy than stupid.
But the thing I said to Terrell, I said, 4 or 5 years down the road, people will have forgotten how bad the road used to be. People will have forgotten just the whole entire struggle. And I guess for that reason, I'm grateful to have some of the YouTube videos, but the YouTube videos don't do justice. They don't show the just raw emotion, the raw struggle. I don't personally know anybody that has built their entire home from start to finish. My brother-in-law, Cedar's older brother, a number of years ago, when we were first married, he did most of it. I think he subbed out the drywall, he subbed out the paint, did some different things. But he had groups of people helping him. We would help him frame it. He did most of the work, but he would have guys come and help him from time to time. And so the truth is, in most cases, it's not reasonable for one person to try and take on the idea.
Only Heath.
The operative word there is reasonable, right? There's nothing. I guess the point I'm trying to get at is, we chose the struggle. To sit and complain about something that's, self-inflicted, I think is unreasonable. But there's nobody will ever know. Nobody will ever understand just the struggle, but yet the victory that comes from these little things, like this morning, meeting with the inspector, finding out that things are okay, even though I didn't sleep last night, even though I'm exhausted, but I still am happy. I guess this is another victory. So
you're kind of an impatient person too. I mean, you want it done tomorrow.
Well, we've never lived anywhere where you live life by the seasons, right? We know what's around the corner. Yeah. And who knows how good or bad the winter's going to be. But anyway, it's the most fulfilling thing, second only to being a husband and a father, I guess. It's the most fulfilling thing I've ever done in my life. And then to, at some point, get the wife and kids up here, living up here, and to feel safe and confident, and to not worry about things.
What are you worried about?
Well, the road more than anything. The kids driving out, going to school. We're getting enough gravel on the road now where it's not as critical, but
I think it helps, like having Cheyenne drive up here, so she's getting practice.
She's getting used to it.
Getting used to where the turns are, where the ruts are, and
as much time as I spent here, there's part of me that wonders what happens in the evenings, what happens in the mornings. I've never slept in this house. I've never stayed in the night. Me and Red have planned on doing it 2 or 3 times, coming up here and staying the night, and maybe we'll do it.
Maybe once all the tools are off the ground?
Yeah, right. I don't really want to sleep on bags of insulation. So.
I don't either.
My philosophy is wallow in these small victories, because who knows how long it's going to be before we get another one. So let's go get cleaned up and go to dinner.